Alright, what's going on guys, it's your boy Zilchi and welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. In today's video, we will be talking about Song Jinwoo's ultimate build at level 80. Now that I have maxed him out, we're going to go ahead and take a look at each stat and what it provides and which stat actually is best for him and what I've used to clear the story modes in this game. Right now I'm at like chapter 17 in hard mode and I've cleared everything in normal mode, right? So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at that. But before we hop into this video, guys, if you are new to the channel, please join the Discord in the description below. I would love to see a lot of newer faces in the server. I am doing code giveaways. I have about 2,000 codes that I'm giving away. I did 50 earlier today and I will do some more tonight. So if you guys are interested in that, please join the server. Again, the link will be in the description below. And as well, if you guys are new to the channel overall, hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe, and let's just hop straight into it. Alright, so here we are with my Song Jinwoo. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at what each stat gives him. I took off the books and all my weapons in general, so that way I can show you guys exactly what we get in terms of our attack power, HP, and stuff like that from the weapons, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats, right? So we have strength, vitality, agility, intelligence, and perception. Strength is just pure attack, vitality is your defense and HP, agility is critical hit rate plus the damage, additional MP and cooldown reduction for intelligence, and perception is the precision, which is the end damage that you get from your attack, right? So the extra damage. So let's take a look at what each stat is giving you in terms of the points, right? So if we put 1 into strength, that is plus 15, right? If you put 1 into vitality and defense, that's plus 19. If you put 1 into agility, that's plus 12. If you put 1 into intelligence, that is plus 16. If you put 1 into perception, that is plus 12. So with the testing that Pain did provide me in the last video that I did make, or recent video I made about his best build in terms of strength versus perception, we did come up to the conclusion that strength is actually giving you more points overall than perception. And that is going to help you a lot more when it comes to increasing your overall power for the team and for your battle tiers, so you're not in the red zone constantly when you're playing against these bosses, right? If you're a free-to-play player, you are always in the red zone. Even as a whale in this game, some of you guys are probably also in the red zone, right? I know for a fact Nato, who is probably one of the biggest whales in this game, is in the red zone in hard mode right now. So she's not going to get any help from perception. Once you have any points in perception, you're not going to be seeing anything when you're in the red zone, because the penalty that the red zone gives you takes away your crit, your perception, and all that, right? But what does stay is your strength, right? There's no penalty on your attack, and as you guys know, DPS is king in this game. So the timer is your biggest enemy, right? Let me reset this real quick. I'm going to put everything into our strength. That's exactly how I think you should build it, by the way. But the timer is your biggest enemy in this game. You want to build your character so that way you can fight against the time. You're not going to be doing enough damage if you have your stat anywhere else, all right? So what I do recommend when you get to a certain point in the game, I'm not saying starting off you should put everything into strength. I think what you should do starting off is put some into strength, some into agility, and some into perception, right? But then as you are getting a lot stronger and reaching higher levels to where you are entering the red zone a lot more, you definitely should just toss everything you have into strength here. All right? And it's for the exact reasons that I said earlier. It's just there's no penalty when you have your points in strength, right? So that's what I have in terms of that. The intelligence, vitality, perception, and agility, you can get all of that from other things, right? So for example, the agility, you can get that from your artifacts. Same thing with the vitality, you can get that from your weapon and your artifacts. And intelligence, you can get that from your artifacts as well. And perception, you get from your weapons, right? So for me, I don't need anything in perception, anything in vitality, anything in intelligence or agility, because I get that through everything else, right? So in terms of the stats, everything on strength, if you're just starting off, put a lot in strength, some in agility, some in perception. And as you are getting up in the levels, as you're entering the red zone a lot more, just try to transition yourself to everything into strength, because again, you don't get any penalty for that, right? Now, when it comes to the weapons, right? His best weapon right now is probably the plum flower sword, and that's because of his build that I do think you guys should build. I'm going to show you guys the best build, right? So we're going to talk more about that in a second, but this weapon it's just such a good support for every other weapon in the game, and it's just ridiculous. The fact that it just gives you crit and just crits over and over and over is so big for a lot of these weapons. Its best partner right now is probably the Moon Shadow and the scythe. You can go either or with this, right? I have many videos on these combos. You guys should definitely check them out. I have videos of the shadow scythe and the plum sword, the moon shadow and the plum sword, the moon shadow and the shadow scythe, and the book and the plum sword. I have a lot of videos on weapons, so definitely check those out, guys. But his best weapon is definitely probably the plum flower sword, right? And that's giving me 20,000 in my attack power, and that's because I have it at 5 stars, level 100, right? You guys actually get the same level of attack that I get at higher stars. Well, at 0 stars. When you have it advancement 0, you get the same level. You get to 2500. I just get more precision, more HP, and extra stats for the weapons with it being advanced to A5, right? So that's his best weapon. If I add on another weapon, let me just add on the scythe, for example. My attack goes up to 1638. 16368, which is right now for the build that I'm running is my highest attack for this specific build. My highest attack overall is 23,000, but I'm just not using that current set, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and showcase you guys the artifacts that I'm actually running to allow me to be able to get this high of attack and HP and stuff like that, right? And it's the toughness set alongside the expert set. And again, guys, this is his best set in the game right now, is the toughness set. That's because, let's take a look at what it does, right? So the user's critical hit rate increases by 8% when you're on the 2 set, and the 4 set effect, the user's critical hit damage increases by 32%, right? As you guys know, there's a lot of weapons in this game for him that relies on crit or just enhances his crit so much, right? The plum flower sword being one of them, the scythe being one of them, and the moon shadow being one of them as well. It also works really well with the west wind, which is the strongest hitting weapon in the game right now. Because once you get that crit off, guys, and you get the crit damage as well, that's GG's, right? You're literally one-shotting bosses. It's ridiculous. So this is probably going to be his best set on the left side because of exactly what it gives, right? Now, when it comes to the stats that you want to roll for, make sure if you can, you get additional attacks somewhere in there for the main stats for the handpiece and the headpiece, right? If you can't, it is what it is. You can get it from other sections, right? But make sure you are hunting for the additional attack as well as the most important part, critical hit rate or critical hit damage, right? So on the left side here, the toughness set, you want to hunt for additional attack and a critical hit rate. So right now I actually do have, like, I could get a gold piece for this right now, and my attack and my just overall power with my Song JINWOO would be a lot higher. The only issue is it doesn't have the main stat that I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for additional attack, then extra attack somewhere in there plus crit rate. I just don't have any of that, right? When it comes to the back piece, you can only get additional defense, but as long as you have critical hit rate or even additional attack somewhere in there, you can definitely use that. That's what you want to hunt for, right? So make sure the most important stat though is your crit rate, all right? This boot piece right here gives you crit hit damage, which is very good, all right? This piece is probably my luckiest piece in this entire game that I've pulled on any character, right? So I was really excited when I pulled this. So we have the toughness set on the left side, and then on the right side here, you want to run the expert set. Now, this is his best set, but you can also use other sets, like the behemoth set is very good for him as well, right? I opted to use this because it really works well with the toughness set, and I'll show you why, right? So we have the expert set here, 2 set effect. When landing a critical hit, the user has a 25% chance to increase attack by 0.8%, stacking up to 100 times. Cooldown is 1 second. The 4 set effect increases activation rate to 50% and attack increase effect to 1.6%. So both of those are getting doubled, right? So now when you have the crit set on, obviously you get a crit hit rate increase by 8%, as well as the 32% increase in the hit damage. And now every time you crit, you're also getting a 1.6 attack increase and a 50% activation rate to the attack as well. So this is very, very, very strong. in terms of the synergy with the toughness set. So this is probably his best set to use for him right now, right? If you want to go with another set, you could use the lion's helmet, the lion set, or the arm set as they call it. And that's because that one is just pure attack for him. Increases the user's attack by 5% when you're on the 2 set, and the 4 set, when attacking, the user ignores 15% of the target's defense. And that's very, very, very strong for Sung JINWOO, because everything he does is just like, if you give him pure attack, you'll see him do a lot of damage, right? I just think it's more beneficial to use the crit hit damage, utilize the crit hit damage, because a lot of the weapons that he has crit hit rate and crit hit damage enhancements as well. So that's what I think his best sets are right now, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of his basic skills, his stats and stuff like that, and his artifacts and his weapons, right? Again, I do have other videos on the channel that showcases a bunch of his other weapons. I want to showcase SR weapons as well. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. I'll definitely make videos on the SR weapons as well. Now let's talk about his skills. Now you can use whatever skill that you want to use, right? But I'm going to showcase you guys the skills that have helped me the most in this game. And right off the bat, you guys already know Commander's Touch is probably the most useful skill for him right now, and specifically the black hole skill, right? And this is exactly why. Let's take a look at what it does here, right? So we're gonna go ahead and look at the preview. It's legit a black hole, and it sucks every person up, pause, in the battlefield into the black hole, and it lasts a while. And not only does it do that, you also get increased damage dealt to normal monsters by 15%. So you're getting extra damage increase as well as the usefulness of bringing everyone together so you can just one-shot all of them. Especially when you use this with the West Wind, guys. GG's, okay? GG's, you're one-shotting anyone. The next best one, or the one that's helped me a lot through this entire thing, is the Death Dance, right? Once you use the Death Dance to pair up with the Black Hole, I forgot which one. I need to see which one actually refreshes Commander's Touch here. One of these refresh Commander's Touch. It might be the light version. Here it is. So the light version specifically refreshes Commander's Touch. So if there's any stage, for example, Chapter 8, the Igris chapter, this is probably the best skills to use, because this one rounds all of them up, and then this one refreshes it so you can use it again, but it's also light, and it does heavy break on the enemy. But no, light break. No, that is heavy break actually. It does heavy break on the enemy, so that's very, very good, right? That's pretty much it for the skills, and be honest with you. Every other one is just, it's decent, right? But I think those two are the main useful ones that I used. This one's very good as well, the armor break. I'm using that currently for hard mode. Chapter 15 specifically, this wind one was very, 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 very good for me. Okay, when you get the light one, it's probably going to be the best one to use for the Igris stage when you get there. But for now, I'm using the light one for chapter 15, and so on and so on, right? So those are the skills that I recommend you use. If you are able to pull them, they're going to be the most useful for you. All right. So, and I think that's pretty much it in terms of his build here. If I missed something, if you guys don't agree with something, let me know in the comments below. Again, guys, join the Discord if you are interested in the codes that I am giving out. Again, I have over 2,000 codes. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.